The catastrophe that we warned about and we feared is no longer at our doorstep. It is right inside our homes in Yemen. It has started devouring the innocent, and the numbers are on the rise. And Yemen, once again, finds itself neglected. The organization Doctors Without Borders says it has treated or it has received 173 cases, of which 68 died. That's almost 40%. That's 40%. That's a catastrophic number by any measurement. Numbers of burials, daily burials, have risen from 10 daily to 80. That's another catastrophic number. And that's only the beginning. It's only the beginning. In a country that has been destroyed by war, whose medical institutions, whose security institutions have been systematically destroyed over 5 years of war, is now left again to face Corona after it had faced alone a war and cholera and floods everywhere. It has now been left and neglected to face Corona. What actually is the outlook in such a situation? In a country that doesn't even, no longer has basic medical services. A Sky News report recently told us that in some hospitals there was almost 100% fatality rate. That rate of fatality can become more widespread if only in one place, in Aden, of 173 patients, 68 died. And this is a country of 30 million with high density. What do we expect to happen? We need to move. This is not about politics anymore. This is about 30 million people. Many of you listening to this have lived in Yemen, among Yemenis. You have broken bread with us. You might have been obliged to be silent in the past 5 years of war. This is not the time for silence. Move. Move. We need to move governments. We need to move the conscience of the world. Yemen can no longer afford to be neglected, especially now, faced with floods and war and now Corona. It cannot afford anymore. There are 30 million people facing this pandemic with almost no resources. Nations that have huge resources are suffering. What do you imagine will happen to Yemen with its very limited and in some places no resources at all? And the numbers that are starting are already catastrophic. 40% death rate in one place. 8 times increase, 800% increase in the number of graves. This is only the beginning, and the future, the days ahead and the weeks ahead and the months ahead, unless we move and unless we are able to move the world conscious, Yemen stands no chance. There are organizations like Médecins Sans Frontières or Doctors Without Borders, which are operating in Yemen, and other organizations. These are neutral organizations. These are not organizations linked to any party to the war, external or internal. These are organizations we can help. We can send our assistance, send your donations to these type of organizations. They have websites. You can search their websites. msf.org is operating in Yemen. Send your donations to it. It will reach Yemen. Specify that you're sending a donation to Yemen for Yemen, although they operate in other parts of the world. But I'm calling for Yemen because I know in this country the resources are so limited and there is a blockade which is now which has been blocking food and medical assistance for the past 5 years. Send your money, send your help to these neutral organizations, let them do their work. And let us hope for the best. But we cannot afford anymore to be silent. This is the time to move. If we don't move now, when? If this does not qualify for immediate rise up to the challenge, what will? I plead especially to many of you who have lived among us in Yemen, who have seen Yemen, who have memories of Yemen, of its streets and its neighborhoods, of its homes and its families, people you know, friends you made, bread you broke with. Move. Your voice is called upon. We plead with you. Rise up to the challenge. This is not the time of silence. This has no political agenda in it. This is Corona. Forget the silence of war because there is a political agenda and some people have to be silent. Fine, that happens. This is not that. This is a killer virus. And history will not forgive our silence. We neglected, we ignored Rwanda. And we know what happened there out of the war. Let us not ignore Yemen, as not only it suffers the consequences of war that is still going on, but the consequences of a pandemic that is devouring the whole world, and especially countries with limited or no resources like Yemen. Reach out. Make your voices heard. Open your wallet. Send your donations to neutral medical institutions like Doctors Without Borders. Help out. We need your help. Please. Thank you.